Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be repairing the turbo inlet pipe on my Mazdaspeed 3. We've been running a lean condition and I had not figured out why over the past year, and I think I may have finally found it out. On Mazdaspeed 3s, on top of the turbo inlet pipe, there's a little nipple, and that connects to the boost control solenoid, which connects to the wastegate. And it's very typical on Mazdaspeed 3s for these to break, and I'm thinking the previous owner may have actually broken it when they were stocking the car out. Already went ahead and got the turbo inlet pipe out, and you can see right here, that's where the nipple's supposed to be. This is where it connects to the turbo, and this is where that little elbow is in the front. And it just snapped right off, and it's just sitting right here in that little hose, completely snapped off and melted. So today I'm going to show you guys how to repair it. There's a lot of different people who have had to deal with this, and it's all over the forums. A lot of people go with like a brass fitting, and they just kind of drill it out and thread the hole that they drill, and then they put the thing in it and then get a new hose for it. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. This right here is what you're going to need. It's a barb fitting adapter, and what you're going to end up doing is you're going to drill through this right here, and then you're going to be putting this through it and sealing it with something like silicone. And you can just find this at Lowe's. That's where I'm at right now, is Lowe's. When you get home and you're ready to go, you need to go ahead and put it in some sort of vise. Unfortunately, I do not have an actual vise, but I do have this weird wooden thing that my dad made. So go ahead and get it somewhere secure where you can clearly access that. And these will vary in size and thread pitches, and luckily I do have what I need. In order to get the right threading, this right here is the size. It is a 9/16 by 18. And for the final drill bit size I need, that will be a 1/2 inch for this specific application. Now this will vary by which one you get of these. They can be different sizes. Just go ahead and make sure you have what you need before you start drilling, because once you start drilling, there's no going back. One last thing that's recommended is to use a heat gun while you do this, because plastic loves to crack and do things you don't want it to do. So to ensure that it's not going to crack or do something crazy, I would use a heat gun. You don't have to, it's recommended, but especially if it's cold out, do use a heat gun, because that makes it a lot more prone to cracking. When you are ready and you have everything you need, go and start heating it up if you have the heat gun. And when you start drilling, start with the smallest size that fits the hole and go nice and slow. If it's ever getting like a little cool to the touch, just go and hit it right back up with that heat. Make sure it's nice and malleable. You do not want to mess this up. Make sure when you're doing this, you keep it nice and straight, because if you go too far to one side or the other, it'll end up making an uneven hole, and then you got more problems to deal with. Woo, there's a big boy. All drilled out, it should look something like this. Something you could do once you're finished drilling is you can go ahead and clean up all this like rough area on the top, but you can see on the inside there's just enough to thread off with. So me personally, I'd like to have a flat surface because the bottom of this needs to seal. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up a little bit and try and sand down some of that material. Get it nice and smooth as I can, and then next step is going to be threading. Sanding it is really easy when plastic is hot. Just kind of moves out of the way a little bit. Get it nice and flat, at least as well as you can. you're done drilling, go ahead and stick the tap in there. Try and get as straight as you can. And just start slowly making those threads. Really, you just need to do just enough for that little nipple to get in there. Once you get to that point, go and start backing it out. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but if you look in the hole, there's some really new small threads that have been made. Really shitty threads, but they should be enough to hold the nipple in. When you're ready to go ahead and put the nipple in, I'd recommend using something like a silicone sealant or some sort of sealant. Doesn't really matter what you use, just so that you can make sure there's not going to be any unmetered air getting through the new threads that you just made. Because if unmetered air gets past the threads, then you're going to start getting a lean condition and your car's not going to run right. That's the problem that the broken nipple causes in the first place, so why not just ensure that you're not going to have this problem ever again. Go ahead and get a little bit of silicone on the threads or whatever you're choosing to use. Don't really need a whole lot of it, but just enough. Let's see. And then get it on there. Just put it through all the threads. Make sure it's evenly on there. And just like that, you have your sealant on. And now it's ready to go into the turbo inlet. Just go ahead and start threading it in the threads that you made. This is what it should look like when you're finished. I went ahead and put a bunch of silicone around the edges here, just so I can ensure that it's not gonna leak from the top. And just like that, you have a brand new turbo inlet pipe. I mean, that looks better than it did factory, didn't it? And at this point, you guys just go ahead and let your sealant cure and go ahead and put it back in the car and test it out. Make sure it's not leaking. That's it, guys. It's that simple, that easy to do. When I was originally researching how to do this, all I had was the forums. I jumped on YouTube and did not see any videos on how to do this, no tutorials or guides. So I thought I'd just go ahead and throw one together for you guys to watch, so we at least have something in the Mazdaspeed community. But with that, I just want to give you all a big thank you for watching and have a good day.